Papa John is with us. He's got a fire crackling in the back. Papa, is that gas or is that log?
It's gas and it's fake, but it looks good.
Really?
It looks great.
It looks so real.
I gotta tell you, me and Hila recently went on a retreat and we were using real logs, and it's such a pain in the ass. You gotta throw it. I mean, you know what I mean? Gas all the way. Are you propane man yourself?
No, that's natural gas. We're here in Kentucky. We got lots of it.
So Papa is here today. First of all, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Because the transcript has been released. The report has been filed. And the verdict is out, Papa. And I think we can all hear and celebrate and say, we all knew it. Papa John was set up. Papa John is innocent. And he makes a goddamn good pie, too.
Well, thank you. It was a pretty glorious day when that report came out and hit the media. But I don't know a lot of people, a lot of things, but I do owe you and Hila a big thank you. You busted this story 10 months ago when the chips were down, and I was getting hammered pretty good with the false narrative, and I was pretty well down and out, man. I was beat up, and you didn't quite exactly know what was happening, but something didn't smell right, and you've got a pretty good sniffer on you, and you were right on this. And what's kind of come, I mean, you've got a pretty diabolical mind. You're not a diabolical guy, but you got to, you can think. And what they did here is so horrific and so hard, even for somebody like you or I to think that they did it. But they did it, and we uncovered it, and the truth came out, and we're delighted right now.
So what exactly came out?
So the revelation was, first of all, the original call. There's a transcript released. Now, the original call, you were accused of making racially charged statements, right? And so what happened was the transcript was released, and you can read this transcript, right? It's available to anybody online. Is that true or no?
Well, not exactly. You're sort of right. The transcript was held out of public view because the company didn't want anybody to see it because it pretty well exonerated me. But remember, Ethan, there's now two tapes. The tape when I was on the call and the tape that's after I hung up. The first tape exonerates me because what I said was a disdain for racism. What I said was anti-racism. And what they did, they reversed what I said. It ran into Forbes. Forbes printed a bad headline, and the rest of the media ran with it. What the dumbasses did, they left the tape running. There was a live mic, and they taped themselves. And that part of the tape, the second tape, indicts them. And so it's real clear that it was a setup, and that the comments are, we hope he effing gets it. Let's run this to so-and-so and take it viral on the internet. I mean, it was a complete setup, and they taped themselves.
Wow.
So I have access to this transcript. So how do I have access to this? Was this something?
You have access to the transcript of the lawsuit.
It says call transcript.
But remember, we had to file a lawsuit against Laundry Service to get the first transcript out in the public.
So people can read.
The public had to dig for it. You dug for it because you're following the story.
So, but this is out there if people want to read it. This call transcript.
Right. The second call, the second transcript, is in the court of law, and Laundry Service is trying to seal it because they don't want that transcript out there. So you got Papa John's doesn't want the first transcript out there because it exonerates me, and you got Laundry Service that doesn't want the second transcript, the part that recorded them, out there because it indicts them. So it's all tied up in the legal system, but it's a bunch of BS.
So now that the transcript is out, this is great for people who are following the story,
right?
But what does it mean for you legally?
Well, right now we have a motion to unseal the transcript, and we should get a ruling on that any week. Well, once that gets unsealed and the public now knows exactly what was said in the second call, they'll put two and two together and say, my gosh, this goes beyond just not fair or right. This is what they did is darn right horrific. It's evil. What do you do from there? Well, first of all, you just kind of slow down here and kind of go, what just happened? You you have the setup. It was premeditated, and it was intentional, and it was malicious. Second thing is we have the Louis Freeh report, which exonerates us. It gets us off the hook. And then the third part to your question is damages. I mean, the damage they've done to this wasn't good for me. This wasn't my idea of a good time at all. But what they've done to my community, they left Louisville hanging. What they've done to my employees, they fired all the employees and moved the thing to Atlanta. So they got put out the door, kicked to the curb. And what they've done to the franchisees, to this brand, the last 2 years, by intentionally setting the founder up as a racist, the damages here are astronomical. So
your ultimate goal is, now that you've proven your innocence and there's more evidence coming, your goal is to now take this evidence and file a lawsuit against laundry service for damages?
Well, you have to look at the different publics. You have the suppliers, which they've actually benefited from this. You have your community, which I told you they lost. You have me personally, which is a loss, and you have the franchisees and the employees. Remember, all the proceeds out of this lawsuit go to charity. And so I don't get anything out of this except to give the money to charity, which is, that I just want to clear my name because, I have kids, I have grandkids, and you just don't want that on your record because it's nonsense. I couldn't save the employees, Ethan. I did everything I could. I knew they were going to do this to the employees, and they picked up headquarters, they kicked these people to the street, and they moved it to Atlanta. We were here 34 years, and they hurt a lot of people. And the damage that this board of directors and your good friend Steve Ritchie did to the employees and the executives here in Louisville, Kentucky is it's horrid. It's horrid. Now, to answer your question, the third party, the franchisees, the people that really helped me build this company and helped make me wealthy, I am teeing this up for those guys. The franchisees are going to be in the catbird seat when I get done with this board and I get done with laundry service, that, if they come in and say, my gosh, look what the executives of Papa John's did. Look what the board of directors did to the company, to this brand, to the founder. Look at the damage they've done. The franchisees will own Papa John's International for 2 cents on a dollar one day. Mark my words. The day of reckoning.
The day of reckoning is here. We are all waiting. Now, Papa, a lot of people have taken the day of reckoning to mean a lot of things. For example, people have predicted maybe that you were talking about COVID. People, maybe one of your pizza contemporaries passed away. Unfortunately, people thought maybe you had that you were prophesizing a day of reckoning. There was is there an asteroid coming? I mean, how deep does this day of reckoning go? Are we talking about the stock prices, or have you seen into the future something more ominous?
Right now, we have a what we call a grace period because we're in pizza delivery business and everybody's locked up at home with COVID. So it's you can do nothing wrong in the pizza business right now. So that day is going to happen when that subsides and sales crash and all this other nonsense that's been going on that's really hurt this brand. That's going to be magnified with the performance of the company. But, I don't know if it's odd or I don't know if it's God. Look at the last 6 months. I've been able to sell hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stock at a premium because of COVID. My franchisees, my partners have made more money in the last 6 months than they ever had. And Louis Freeh, the best of the best, just exonerated me from all this nonsense that I've had to deal with for the last 2 years. So it's been hard, but it's been a great 6 months, and I feel fortunate. Now, that the next phase is when COVID subsides and all this comes out, what I'm telling you, and it really soaks in what this board and what this executive team did to Papa John's International, what they did to the brand. In my opinion, that'll be the day of reckoning.
We all wait with bated breath. I'm looking at the stock price, and the stock price is doing quite well. I mean, at your peak as the leader of Papa John, it's basically at where it was in Papa John prime time. But you're saying, I mean, how can you go wrong during COVID? Like, how can you fail as a pizza company right now?
Right.
Well, it's even worse than that. Right now, Papa John's makes half the pre-tax profit and trades at the same price. Now, you don't think that's a shell game. You don't think there's some shenanigans going on there. I'll give you two examples. The CEO of Papa John's comes out and says, we have 8 million new customers, yet the customers coming in the stores are less now than they were 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's a show game. We have 8 million new customers. Well, but you got less customers coming in. So you see that we're going to open 50 stores.
Why can't it just be customers who are ordering online?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that as a percent has gone up a little bit. But let's say 3 years ago you had 1,000 customers. Today you have probably 960 customers. So even so it's a show game. They say we have 8 million new customers, but they have a lot less people coming in the door. So they actually have less customers. Now,
I don't understand your
doesn't
logic,
have the
Papa.
Say what?
I don't understand your logic, Papa, because it's COVID. People aren't going inside. They're ordering online.
They're ordering online is a percent, about 70% of the business. That hasn't changed. We don't have any in-seating table dining, Ethan. It's all delivery or carryout. Mm-hmm. So maybe that pre-COVID was, say, 65-35, and maybe it's 70-30 online versus telephone or carryout. But that hasn't changed. But the amount of customers ordering has gone down the last 3 years. So in order to make the sales look better, they jack up the price. Oh. So the point is, Wall Street doesn't have the intelligence to go, what's your traffic counts? In other words, the guy says we have 8 million new customers, and the next question is, how much is your traffic up? How many more customers you have coming through the door? And the answer to that would be, well, it's negative. See, it's a bad number. It
sounds to me
number.
Like the day of reckoning is coming.
Arithmetic's not an opinion.
If Papa John,
So they're just giving out fake numbers?
Fake numbers, that's a little strong. I think misleading numbers. I think the real health of the business, the product quality, has slipped. The service has slipped. The standards have slipped.
I've stopped ordering Papa John's. I'll be straight up with you.
Say what?
I'll be straight up with you. I don't buy Papa John's pizza anymore.
Well,
I don't know how that makes you feel, Papa, to be honest, because that's your baby, but it used to be my life. Papa John's pizza used to be my life, and now it's not there for me. I don't know how that makes you feel.
Makes me feel terrible, and I think it's just the obvious that the product quality has gone down. And
have you been ordering Papa John pizzas? Are you still on that?
I've ordered 600 pizzas.
Let's go.
In the last 90 days.
Are you serious?
I know exactly what they're selling. So to your point, Ethan, you have one or two, surveys. That doesn't make a
Papa,
a
I'm captivated by what you just said.
Yeah, me too.
So tell me, what's your ordering strategy? You live in this area. You live in Kentucky, right? No. So tell me about
we've ordered 600 pizzas in probably 10 or 15 states just to know what's going on. So when you have as much stock as I've had, you want to make sure that you know the product quality is there. And to your point, one example doesn't make a survey, but when you have 600, you kind of know what's going on.
For sure.
Anyway, the product has slipped. They know that. The franchisees know it, and the service has slipped. They have no pizza experience at the executive level or at the board level. They don't care about the employees. They just screwed them over. And I'm worried about the franchisees. Look what they did to me. Look what they've done to the employees. And then look what they're going to do to the franchisees. The writing's on the wall that the worst place you want to be in 2021 is a franchisee of Papa John's International. That's the worst place you want to be. You're sitting on a keg of dynamite.
So, Papa, tell me about the pizza ordering system. Do you have people in different states, and then you guys coordinate? Do you try with toppings?
Are they undercover?
Are they undercover? Like, does Papa John know that you're doing this? Like, what kind of mind games are going on a high level?
No, Papa John's doesn't care what I'm.
They're happy. They need the business.
Yeah. No, you could buy any service and go out and spend the money, and they'll order the pizzas and tell you what they're serving. That's just
so you say you're doing it across.
It's $5,000 or $10,000 to go out and order 300 pizzas, so it's not a big deal.
But is it like people you personally know, or
no? No, it's secret shopper. It's independent, people throughout the country that'll order pizza and then report what they got.
So
It's not a hard
you're
system.
running
It's
some
expensive.
you're running some kind of survey program like undercover.
No, no, I'm not running.
I want to know. I'm interested.
I'll get you the name of the vendor. I mean, there's several vendors.
So it's
that
a
will order.
service.
It's a service they give you. I see.
It's a service. Papa
Okay.
John's used to do it, but they stopped doing it because it costs money. A, it costs money, and B is they didn't want to see what they were serving.
Yeah, they're like, we know it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. If you don't measure it, they won't do it. If you don't reward it, they won't repeat it.
Papa, what are we gonna do?
So is the cheese getting away from the crust, as we've seen on the?
God, don't even get us started, Elo.
Don't get. I had 9 pizzas in Washington D.C. last week, and the operator in D.C. he's a colonel. He's actually pretty good, and they were slipping pretty bad. They've slipped. To your point, and
Don't even get us started.
but right now, COVID's going to cover all that up, Ethan.
Oh, yeah.
COVID's going to,
Right.
you don't have to be on your game when you got a monopoly, and they got a monopoly right now.
What are we gonna do? I mean, it's just not right. I mean, pizza is a sacred. It's sacred, and to see the cheese slipping away from the crust like that, and the pepperonis not being evenly distributed, it's just not fucking okay.
Well, you ought.